Cory Sylvester. Oh, how thankful I am for the silence of rocks. Oh, how thankful I am for the silence of rocks. Cory Sylvester.
There I am, sitting on a rock in the middle of a river, head full of stories, unwilling to decide if I should move forward across the river or if I should go back. Unwilling to decide because not deciding is the only thing that seems comfortable. Fellow Toastmasters, contest chair, guests. I'd like to share a story with you that was so meaningful that it practically wrote itself. Or at least that's what I thought. I'm hiking through the mountains in Southern California very, very early in the morning. Dawn has not yet cracked the horizon. Haze from the top of the mountain bleeds down to the earth, giving a feeling of mystery through the day. I'm on a journey to clear my head and to write a story about clearing my head. I start to tune in to the things that my mountain has to offer. I notice that the deer is alert and realize that maybe I should be more alert to my surroundings. Or I notice that the river not only conforms to the environment, but it also shapes the environment. And maybe that's a good lesson for me to use with my own attitude or way of being. I even take the time to listen to the rocks. Now, I don't know if you've ever spent much time absorbing the wisdom of rocks, but I'm serious when I tell you that they have something to say. They don't move their lips and they don't make a sound, but somewhere in the silence of rocks, there are secrets. Now, those secrets are often buried within eternities of silence, and I've really only got one day, so I decide to fill the silence with the noise of the story that I'm going to be creating. I start to think about how I'm going to tell the story, and how I'm going to talk about haze bleeding down from the mountain, and how the river had something to do with conforming my attitude. River, haze, deer. This is good stuff. I can already feel the satisfaction of the story. There's a river ahead. Looks difficult to cross, but I was training my body quite a lot at the time, so crossing the river was almost granted that it was going to be easy enough. I leap from one rock to another and another. Easy enough that I can spend my mental energy working on my story of glory. I leap again. I twist my ankle. Oh, how discouraging. Twist, ankle. Add that to story. I leap from one rock to another, and mid-leap, I see another landing that's going to get me ahead further and faster, and I decide to upgrade even before I land. Great choice. I land in a way that pulls a muscle in my back and pulls it hard. Oh, what have I done? I was feeling so hopeful, and now I'm feeling doubtful. I will my way through the self-doubt, and I continue to move forward, leaping from one rock to another, and I become blessed with the opportunity to make the same mistake twice. This time, mid-leap, I see another landing that's not only going to be more comfortable, but it's also going to protect my back, and I start feeling clever even before I land. Oh, the reality of my landing turned out to be a much better teacher than the pre-written story of my landing. This time, I stretch my leg in a way that's too far, and I pull a muscle in my groin. Arrgh! Now what? My back hurts, my groin hurts, my spirit hurts. My ankle pain is starting to creep in. And wouldn't you know that the most important thing to me in this moment is to get busy creating the story of how I twisted my ankle, pulled a muscle in my back, pulled a muscle in my groin while heroically crossing a river so I could bring home a great story? Oh, the thoughts in my head are moving as fast as the river below. Creating my story was giving me energy. Should I go forward into the story that I've gotten myself into, or should I risk forgetting how great of a story it was by letting it all go? If I go forward, then my heroic journey comes to fruition, and if I go back, then it becomes one of disappointment. Both forward and backward are as difficult as each other. There I am, sitting on a rock in the middle of a river, head full of stories, unwilling to decide if I should move forward across the river or if I should go back. Unwilling to decide because not deciding is the only thing that's comfortable. I can't stay here. The obvious notion that I couldn't stay in the middle of the river brought me to just settle down for a second, to tune back into the things that I've learned, to tune in to the very rock that I'm sitting on. Oh, how thankful I am for the silence of rocks. The silent state of rocks brought me to understand that I needed to be simple, that arriving to the riverbanks was going to be done in one way, and it was not by indulging in a story. Somewhere in the silent space between disappointment and doubt, the solution was to move my physical center. One small point, much simpler to move than a head full of stories. I leaped from one rock to another and arrived safely to the riverbanks. You see, forward or backward didn't make a difference in this case. What mattered was that I was able to settle my thoughts enough to hear my own wisdom. The river was a metaphoric threshold for me to cross to let go of my own self-important story. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, friends, my wish for you, for all of us, is that we have the courage to listen to the silence, that we open ourselves to the lessons that are in the gaps between the noise, that we might humble ourselves enough to let go of the story that prevents us from listening to our own silent wisdom. Thank you.